It's alive! It's alive! Uh-oh. Hi, PillbugCraft here, and welcome to a slightly spooky PillbugCraft episode. So, as you can probably tell, I've gone a bit mad scientist themed this year for my costume here. As my own personal kind of blend here between Frankenstein and Albert Einstein as Professor Pillbug Ninenstein. Yeah. So, yeah, this is kind of what the costume skin looks like. Guess there's also... Oh, the cape kind of covers up the back of it. Let's change that, shall we? Cape off. Yeah, bright red potion on the back, which we'll be getting to that project a little bit later in the episode. But anyway, I guess the first project of this episode is something a little bit crazy. Some might even consider it to be mad. Okay, so I guess this is kind of the area where we're going to be working today, or at least to start with for the first project of the episode. So I guess for those of you who don't know, this is Crunchy Potato's mall project. It's not entirely done yet, but it's coming along. We have a few stores here. Here, actually, this is where our bookstore is located. The Bookworm. And this is also another one. Gonna be our armor stand store, but I never did quite finish that. That'll be a project for a future episode. And then this is actually not mine. I believe, I forget who exactly built this, but I think, or who exactly owns this one. I actually think that this one is owned partly by Crunchy Potato, but I can't remember who the other person is. But anyway, this is a candle shop. Of course, it's still a bit under construction and stuff. But anyway, what I kind of did was I made a bit of a deal with Crunchy Potato here. Because the idea is that you'd have to, like, pay to set up stores and stuff. She agreed to waive the fee for my 2 stores here if we help construct the main entrance, or by help I mean build the entire main entrance area. So, yes. So we're going to be using these things right here in order to do that. So I built one off camera so that I could get the proof of concept design in place here. So I got the idea from one of CubFan's Hermitcraft videos. I'll don't remember exactly which one, but I will probably link to that one, like, in the description and probably also on screen. But in that video, anyway, he constructed this design for Ender Pearl stasis chambers. So I thought that it looked really cool, and I really wanted to go ahead and actually build my own version. So that's kind of what I've done here. Use some of the expensive wood as well. But yes, I also did do my own modification to the design. Other than that, it's completely the same. The design that he showed off in that video actually had a barrel right here that was full of ender pearls. so that you could restock the system. What I've done is I've made it automatic. So I've installed a dropper here that will spit an ender pearl. Once you've teleported through this thing, it'll spit an ender pearl out into the water stream, which then the player that just teleported in can pick that up. Happens pretty quickly, so it'll just fill your inventory with an ender pearl, just one, so that you can then restock it. And if you happen to do a bad throw or something, you could use this like a barrel as well. Take the ender pearls out. So that's kind of the design there. I guess I'll go ahead and show it in action as well. So I'll go ahead and go in with an empty hand so that we get an ender pearl. And of course, I have way more ender pearls than what I filled this thing up with. Than a shulker box in my base, but I didn't want to haul that all the way over here quite yet. But if we press this button, as I'll kind of show behind it, this redstone wire, nothing fancy back there, it just goes to that button that you saw. So it'll come through, it comes through here, and then what it does is, roughly at the same time, this spits out an ender pearl, and this observer right here is connected to this dispenser right here with an empty bucket in it. So the observer will detect the redstone line turn on. It'll remove a source block of water right there, which will cause this ender pearl that's perfectly balanced between the two water streams here to go downwards because it will remove this water stream. So then it'll get pulled down, hit the bottom of the thing, and teleport the player that threw it. And once that happens, like immediately afterwards, this redstone line turns off, the dispenser detects, or the observer detects it again, causing the dispenser to put the water source block back. And that restores the system there. So, yes, this thing's all primed. That is my ender pearl there. And I actually, bit of a fun fact there, I actually threw this thing like 2 weeks ago when I built this first one. So, yeah. That means that this does also, the ender pearl that the player threw, it stays and remembers who threw it. You know it, for pretty much forever. You can log out, even if there's nobody on the server or anything. And the last person logs out, it still retains the data of who threw it. So that'll stay there forever once a player throws it. The one problem with using this as a main entrance for everybody is, well, first off, the obvious. We need to build a dedicated stasis chamber for every person on the server. Everybody on the server that would want to use this thing. We also need a dedicated one for every person on the server somewhere up by the surface in the shopping area all the way over there. Here. And of course, we need to run redstone wires individually of each other to each individual one, connecting both of them together. So you can send a signal to it. So, the one issue with using this as a main entrance rather than just using it as a way to teleport around your base, which is what I believe Cubfan uses these things for. Or he's the only one using it, which means he only has to construct as many as there are places in his base he wants to be able to teleport to. With us, it's a little bit more complicated if we want to use it as an entrance for this. But that is why I chose this long strip here as the installation location for these. But anyway, enough about that. I guess you probably want to see it work, so hit that button, we teleport, we get an ender pearl in our inventory. Little bit tricky here. I'll probably need to write a book and put it in a lectern or something to explain that you gotta try to line it up right between the two streams. I think. Whoops. Yeah, I was doing this a lot better the other day. But, yeah, we just. there. And it does look pretty cool as decoration as well, having that hover there. And if you're wondering why the water is bobbing up like that, that's part of the resource pack that I use. Which I guess if you are curious about that, the website where I built it's actually the same website where I got the data packs for the server from, which is always linked in the description below. So, if you're interested to build a resource pack like that, using some of these options, that would be the link that you'd want to follow as well. But anyway, I think the last thing we really need to do, and I did gather all the materials for it, in this box here to build more of these things, is we actually gotta build, I think, 7 more of them. 1 for each PillbugCrafter. So, yes. This is going to, of course, be our design, or our module for it. And I guess I also need some quartz, which I've also been collecting from my villagers. So, I got a bunch of blocks of quartz so that it kind of goes with design. Especially since I need to fill in this whole layer up there with quartz, because these things are only 2 blocks high. But yeah, so I guess I've got a bit of work to do here. So we're going to do that in the form of a time lapse. Oh, and I did get permission as well to remove that thing of scaffolding right there. Because I'm planning to time lapse this, and this scaffolding is going to get in the way of the replay mod. So, just pick that up and stick it in one of these shulker boxes over here. Okay, so I guess time to get building. And of course, this is an infinite water source, which we're going to need because all 4 of these need to have infinite water source blocks on it as well. But I guess let's get building, I suppose. Okay, so as you saw there in that time lapse, we've now got all of these built and filled up and stocked up with everything that they need to work. So, yeah, we've got all of it built. I did have to push back this wall a little bit to make it a little bit better there, because that end has, like, before the wall curves over, it's got a strip of blocks. This side kind of ended with that post there, so I moved that back into the wall to give a bit of space there. But anyway, all of these are wired up as well. So if we go back here, it's a bit of wiring and stuff. And I don't think it should interfere with any of these. The redstone's not touching anything. So I think if I connected a line up to here, we could run that up to the surface ones. And then that would work. Gonna close that up for now. But anyway, that's not the only project that I wanted to do today. So I guess let's head over to the other section, or let's head over to the other project site, and I will meet you there. Okay, well, this isn't the project site, but, I was about to head into my base, because that's where the project site is located, but, on my way there, I landed in front of the greenhouse, and what is going on in there? Yeah, I did not breed this many bees, so I have no idea where most of these guys came from. There's more in there than I remember there being in there, and I definitely didn't breed that many of them. Can bees breed by themselves? Because that is so many. I didn't breed any of these. Um, well, I guess if anyone knows what could have caused this bee explosion to randomly happen in my greenhouse, um, feel free to post a comment or something, I guess. But, I guess probably future episode or something I'll put a bunch of these extra bees inside empty hives, and, then I guess we'll be able to restock the buzz boxes in the, store over there. So, yes. Anyway, I guess to the project site then, now that little distraction's out of the way. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but, it appears that, I guess I'm testing new headphones and stuff. It appears that the, original voiceover audio for this clip you're currently watching didn't record at all, even though the Minecraft sound recorded just fine. But, anyway, this is the project site right here. So, this was, I guess you'll notice the potion cut out in the floor here. That would be why I showed the potion on the back of my character earlier in this video, is because of that. So, I guess you'll see a time-lapse of this being built out right after this. But, yeah. And I couldn't just redo this clip because I'd already built the floor by the time I realized. So, anyway, I guess on to the time-lapse then. Okay, so I do apologize for that, but this is now what it looks like. Guess in the time-lapse you wouldn't have seen this part. Again, lost the audio for an in-between clip, so I'm kind of having to redo it here. But anyway, I guess this would be what it looks like. These torches are temporary. Once I do the ceiling, we'll install some of those ceiling lamps that I've been using in some of these other rooms. Like in the barracks room where I sleep and stuff. But anyway, the plan is to line these with, line the walls here with potion auto brewing modules and stuff. which will be refilled, like it'll refill the nether wart and any other ingredients that one of these will accept by throwing them in this hole in the floor here. And through some item sorting systems and stuff that'll be set up around here, all the items should end up in the correct auto brewers. But we're not going to get around to that today. We don't have enough time to quite do the door either. But I don't think there's enough room. I mean, I don't know, there might be, but I don't think there is enough room for every potion in the game here. So I'm only going to have to probably do the ones that we use the most along the walls and stuff. Which is where this setup here comes in. A couple of brewing stands. We can brew anything that the auto brewers can't, that we might have a use for in these. Or if we just need a smaller amount of them or something. And we've run out of ingredients and don't really have enough to restock the system, but just needed a few potions, that'd also work for this. But this is not just a normal cauldron. This is actually what I'm calling a magic cauldron, but I guess you probably could just refer to it as a smart cauldron as well. So what it does, and I guess I'll just show you here, is if you take one bottle out, nothing happens. If you take another bottle out, nothing happens. You should clear a spot there. But when you take the last bottle out, or the last bit of water out of the cauldron, this could be removed from either a bottle, like we're about to do, or it could also be removed by... Well, as with this lamp right here, you really can't save yourself from being caught on fire by using this thing. But, that could theoretically work. You could also, if you, wash off the color from, leather armor, that makes it go down. Or if you use a banner to remove a layer of ink on the banner if you made a mistake, that would also make it go down. The main thing is, though, if you do something that causes the last bit of water in this cauldron to be removed like this, we get a bucket of water in our inventory, which we can then right-click that with, and then what you do is you throw the bucket. Well, if I could aim, that would work. You throw the bucket into the cauldron when you're done. And this will work as many times as you do it. So if we empty all these bottles of water, this works more than once. Again, first two, nothing happens. Last one, get the bucket, get it in there, throw it in the cauldron. So yes, that's what this system does. And I guess I'll show a little bit of the redstone, not too much though. There will be a tutorial on that thing coming in a few weeks, maybe. Or, well, probably, I guess, when I get around to making one. But it's essentially just, this hopper is what picks up the buttons, buckets, the empty buckets, of course. And this is a dispenser, and that's an infinite water source right there. So, what this system then does is it just pretty much, when it gets the empty bucket, it sucks out the source block that's underneath this block to fill up the bucket. And then it gets sent down into here, where it will then get dropped up, and they're stored in here. I would recommend at least 2 of these, that way you could actually go ahead and take full buckets of water out of this thing as well. You could actually take a full bucket out at a time. I need to actually refill the bucket, so here's a way to show that. So I can just do that, and then now I've got a full bucket. We've got another bucket. So then I just put that in there, throw that bucket in there, and then I can just keep this one. So yes, you can actually refill a bucket here as well. Although maybe I should have had more than one empty spot to make that a bit better. But yes, so that pretty much functions as an infinite water source with the added benefit of being able to use all of the specialized cauldron features as well, as easily as possible. Because I did find out when I tried to build this, my original thought was to use a dispenser to fill the water automatically whenever it got empty. But that didn't work because apparently dispensers don't actually fill up cauldrons. Who knew? That does seem a little bit odd, but anyway, that would be it for the cauldron. So, yeah, I don't think we have enough time to do the door or anything. The episode's going a bit long. But, if you enjoyed this, spookier than usual episode of PillbugCraft, please do leave it a like. Consider subscribing if you really loved it. And, well, I guess I'll show those lights that I'm gonna install there. I guess these are probably what I'm planning to install down in that other room. But, anyway, I guess... yes. My name is Pillbug Ninenstein. And until next time, mad science rules.